Big interesting developments in the world of crypto. Big interesting developments in the world of unicorn fart dust. Welcome to the corral. Welcome to Duster Club. Guys, we got a lot going on and we're going to talk about it all this morning. I want to talk about a comment that showed up here. If you want me to see your comments, guys, you have to be watching on YouTube. Those are the comments that show up here on the streaming software. And I got a real interesting comment here from JRD. Here, you know what? I can actually pull it up on the screen. And JRD said, UFD first being in Beeple's drawing. So Beeple apparently included us in a drawing. And now in the Open Seas video, I showed that to you yesterday. He says, hold on here. Let me see if I can pull this up so I can read it better for you. I think this is interesting to say the least. So, yeah, very interesting developments, but that's not the most interesting development, Dusters, because we are seeing big holders of UFD continue to acquire coins and do it on a very consistent basis. Let's go out and take a look at this piece of data that we got yesterday, which is very, very optimistic. There we go. And let's see if I can get the comment off the screen. There we are. Okay, guys, this is exciting. Okay, this data shows us the top 100 holders right there. Okay, the yellow line on this chart represents the number of beans held by the top 100 holders. So the yellow line, the white line is the price of our coin. So as you can see, we started back here in December. Okay, these are the top 100 holders. Over here, we can see there's 450 million. And let me get this off the screen. If you go all the way to the right, look at that yellow line. It has grown and grown and grown. Again, these are the number of beans that are being held by the narwhals, by the big accounts. It just goes, I mean, that is, that I'll draw again, but when you look at that line, it is just a steady increase. Oh, you know what? I think I can move this, which I will. A steady increase over time. As this continues, at some point, what's going to happen is all the UFD beans are going to be held in tight hands, right? I mean, those are the top 100 wallets, and it just is a steady, consistent climb in regard to how many they own. I want to read you what he wrote on that post as well. Hold on here. And he said, this chart illustrates an inverse relationship between the price of a coin and its quantity in wallets. When the price rises, some investors begin selling, but a large group of other investors appears to be continuing to buy and accumulating UFD. And that's what can happen, right? If our coin price stays at this level, more and more people are acquiring more and more coins. And eventually we get to a point, right, where the majority of the coins are held in very tight hands. I mean, at this point, according to this data, if you pull this up again, the top 100 addresses have 565 million coins. On the exchanges, that's 138 million. So here, and that's where it says here, the top 100 now hold 44% of the overall supply of UFD. We've got some more interesting data. This came from Ez the Duster. Smart money and new holders are quietly accumulating UFD. Check out the stats below from HolderScan. UFD new holders in the last 7 days. Total change 4.4 million. Total change in US dollars up 114,000. UFD accumulators in the past 7 days. Total change equals 12.44 million. Total change in US dollars $320,000. And then we get this, right? And I'm investigating this myself right now. But big account Bitmart, the big exchange, what do they have? 1.4 million followers. Put this out this morning. Does that look familiar to anybody out there? That sure looks like a unicorn to me. What is that telling us? Okay. Now, next, we have a big event coming up this weekend. Our HTX appreciation event, our HTX raid. HTX, the big major exchange, massive in Asia. And we know that they've been super supportive of UFD. We know that HTX, that listing was generated purely on an organic level. There was no, it just happened. Let's just say that. But it just happened because of the community, because of what the UFD community was doing. This Sunday, we're having this massive event where we're going to raid HTX in a positive, classy way, as always. But I want to show you some of the memes, and we're having a meme contest right now. You have until midnight on Saturday to make your entry into the meme contest. You can go to the official UFD Twitter profile page to get information about that. But let's look at a couple of these memes that have already started to come in. I'll try to show as many of them as I can here in the coming days. And this first one, okay, here we go. Came from Antioch 2. I'm probably pronounced that wrong, but there's the duster and the the HTX monster truck. Yes, great creativity. Here's another one. Okay, 6 new UFD plus HTX memes just dropped. Beautiful. Look at that. Huh? That's us, right, with our exchange partner HTX. Here's another one. This one came from the Bullion Duster. These are bottled by HTX beers. These are beer labels. Really cool. Really cool. Look at that. UFD 0.0, like the original, right? Never will change. And there's UFD 0.0. Beautiful. Great artwork, guys. Keep it up. Here's one from the Bean Dip Mogul. And let's pull that one up. Look at that. I love that. That's cool. That stick figure look is very, very cool. So very interesting. Let's go out and talk about some of the kind of macro news going on. Did you know that September, I didn't know this because September 1 year ago, I really wasn't in crypto. I followed crypto very casually, but wasn't into crypto like I am now. But apparently September has the reputation for crypto chaos, and it's already making headlines. The Fear and Greed Index is now sitting at 42. That's a neutral sentiment, but it's up from yesterday's 39, but down from last week's 47. Markets are consolidating near the 3.9 trillion, that's total market cap of crypto pivot point, with mixed signals everywhere. This month brings, and when they say consolidating, what that really means is the weak-handed people who want out of crypto are getting out, and they're being replaced by people that are obviously buying because they have conviction that overall crypto is going to do very well in the coming months, quarters, and years, of which I am of the same opinion. I think in 5 to 10 years, just like everybody uses cell phones now, and everybody uses email, and everybody uses Netflix, everybody 5 to 10 years from now will be using crypto. In red, though, it says this month brings the usual seasonal jitters, but there's more brewing beneath the surface. Ray Dalio's debt cycle warnings are making waves. So Ray Dalio, if you've never heard of him, he's the founder of Bridgewater Capital, either the biggest or one of the biggest hedge funds in the world. Ray Dalio started Bridgewater Capital out of his apartment. He's regarded as one of the sharpest financial, economic, investing minds in the history of the world. And he is putting out the big, big warning. He is basically throwing up the red flag, right? If we were at the beach saying, guys, we are headed for some very challenging fiscal, monetary, economic times in the United States. I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but I'm just telling you what he says. And basically, anybody who knows how to work a calculator can look at the situation that our country's in with $37 trillion plus in debt, interest expense on that debt now over $1 trillion per year. And we've got look, I'm going to let you in on something that a lot of you are really into crypto, which is great, right? And other people are into crypto in the general financial markets. And most people follow the stock market. They think the stock market's the big deal. Here's a shocker to most people. The bond market is magnitudes bigger than the stock market. The bond market really sets the tone for what goes on in the world financial markets, and the bond markets are in trouble. Japan is having trouble. Europe is having trouble. Even in the United States, our 30-year treasury is around 5% right now. That means the U.S. government, if they want to borrow money for 30 years, has to pay 5%. At $40 trillion, that would be about $2 trillion per year in interest expense. Anyhow, back to Ray Dalio. He's basically saying, hey, we are up a creek without a paddle. The U.S. dollar is in big, big trouble. Okay, that's why a lot of us look to other alternative places for safe harbor for our quote unquote money outside of the US dollar. Look at things like precious metals, look at things like crypto, look at things that traditionally have done well in an environment where there's a paper fiat currency that is in not real good shape. Okay, back to crypto. One more interesting thing in this article from CoinMarketCap. We are obviously a Solana based token. And they say Solana just casually revolutionized itself with the Alpenglow upgrade, cutting transaction times to a blistering 150 milliseconds. Everything I've learned about Solana over the past 8 months makes me very excited about the future of the Solana ecosystem moving forward. Seems like Solana is innovating and coming up with new ways to improve the experience for people that operate within the Solana blockchain. So good news for Solana is good news for Unicorn Fart Dust. Absolutely, no doubt about it. I do want to say thank you, guys. We have a big privilege. Ron's Basement, our community has a big privilege to be aligned with some of the best companies in crypto, right? MoonPay, right? You know, MoonPay is part of my story. When I started Unicorn Fart Dust 8.5 months ago, I had never owned a crypto in my life. Never, period. Okay. MoonPay was my very first crypto transaction, my very first crypto experience. And to say I was cautious would be an understatement, but it went so smoothly. So it's no wonder that from that time, when MoonPay had about 30 million customer accounts, to today, when they have 35 million customer accounts, they're helping people all around the world in 180 plus countries on ramp get into crypto for the very first time, exchange their fiat money, their paper money, for crypto. So thank you, MoonPay, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. And of course, our friends at Ledger, right? You know my story. I got hacked, I don't know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks into my journey into crypto. And since then, I've used Ledger devices. I love my Ledger Flex. I love using the Ledger Live app. But I really love the fact that they're helping, secure 20% of the world's crypto right now in a secure manner. They truly are the cryptocurrency hardware wallet security leader. Big news this week will be the jobs number tomorrow, Friday. We're going to get, tomorrow will be September 5th. So we're going to get the August job numbers. Be prepared. It has the potential to send shockwaves through all of the markets. Everybody's expecting at this point, we had some kind of rough employment job openings data yesterday. Everybody's expecting now that the Fed is going to cut rates, right? Start to open up the liquidity spigot. And don't forget, with the current administration that we have in Washington, not any type of political statement, the spigots will soon be open. The floodgates of liquidity, money, cheaper money will be open. That will be bad for the value of the US dollar, like we touched on earlier, but that will also be very, very positive for things like crypto. Let's go out and take a look at the odds now of a rate cut at the next Fed meeting. And let's pull this up. Here we go. This is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME Group Fed Watch tool. So in 13 days, so Wednesday of next week, I think it's on the 17th that we get the 17th, we get the decision from the Fed about interest rates. Here's what we can expect. This chart shows us very simply, and I'll draw on it for you because you can look at this yourself and watch it, the current rate, which is 4.25, and this is the odds. This is based on the big money, the people that are, the hedge funds, the sovereign funds, the big money, how they're positioning themselves. And they're saying that there is that says 97.4%, basically a 98% chance right now is what the big money is saying, that we will have a rate cut a little under 2 weeks from today. It's going to be very, very interesting. The bottom line is, guys, we're going to be in an environment in the coming years where like I said, there's going to be money that flowing everywhere. It's the only thing left that they can do. Ray Dalio talks about it. The sharpest minds in finance and economics talk about the fact that the United States is going to be faced with the situation where the only option will be, right, to print money, to loosen up the monetary policy, which will only result in mass liquidity coming into the markets. It's going to be very interesting. Hey, I appreciate you joining me here today. Don't forget, guys, be good to yourself. That's the best platform you can have to then be good to other people. And in UFD, good attracts good. Take care of yourself, and I will be back tomorrow. Let's go, UFD!